Newsroom, Will Puckett here as we are continuing to track severe weather that has moved through East Tennessee already, but is also still due to move through East Tennessee at the same time. What we know at this hour, just shy of 9 o'clock here on this Tuesday evening, is a radar confirmed tornado touchdown in Morgan County just a little after about 5 o'clock this afternoon, specifically in the Sunbright area of Morgan County. Again, if you're just joining us, we're updating you on severe weather that has moved through East Tennessee, but also more severe weather that is expected here over the next couple of hours. What you are looking at right now is video and picture aftermath of that confirmed radar tornado that touched down in Sunbright and Morgan County. Again, this happened just after about 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We broke into your regular programming at about 5:06, between 5:06 and 5:10, after we had learned that a tornado warning had been issued for Morgan County. This is video right along Highway 27 in Sunbright, again, a very small town there in Morgan County that right now is without power and has seen significant damage that you can see here. All of these pictures submitted to us by viewers just like you all. So if you have any sort of damage, feel free, please, to reach out to any of our meteorologists or us here in the newsroom with pictures and any video that you have of storms that have moved through the region. Again, this is right there in Sunbright, Morgan County. We did confirm just after the 7:30 hour that everyone in Sunbright, right in the path of this storm, has been accounted for. Everyone is safe, and there are few injuries, but thankfully no lives lost. One of the worst locations to sustain any amount of damage is the funeral home there in Sunbright. Actually, our Sam Luther is on the ground in Sunbright and was able to talk with the funeral director there after that.
Walk me through what today was like for you.
Well, really just a normal day until I got home, and I had a friend of mine call me. He said, "Bit Glenn, have you been up at your funeral home in Sunbright?" And I said, "No, what's up?" He said, "It's gone." I said, "Oh man," so I got in the truck and drove up here as soon as I could, and this is what we've seen, unfortunately. So.
When you hear that phone call, when you hear the words, "It's gone,"
Yeah.
you hear tornado warning, what goes through your head at first?
Well, really, I didn't realize. I did hear a tornado. The phone warning went off, but I really didn't think a whole lot about it because I just live about 4 miles down the road, and really there's no wind, no rain, or anything. So I was really surprised when I got up here and seen all this damage. But again, thankfully nobody was hurt.
When you got here and you're looking at the place that you own.
Yeah, it's devastating. But again, this stuff, it can be replaced. Some things we was wanting to get out for the rain, rearing it is just paintings that, friends over the years have given us, just personal belongings, and that meant more to us than, I guess, the building itself. It's just some of the contents. But, we'll just thankful that nobody was hurt, and we'll just have to move forward.
Funeral director Billy Glenn Kennedy putting it perfectly there. Thankfully, no one was hurt in this, and you just got to start putting it all back together. You could hear the emotion at times, though, in his voice as he speaks about the damage that's been experienced there at his funeral home in Sunbright and Morgan County. At last check, about 2,000 people are without power there right in Morgan County. Actually, the power servicer for Morgan County is the Plateau Electric Cooperative. Their website right now showing just more than 2,000 customers affected with that power outage. Again, you're probably looking at double that amount of people or so, but they go by customers, and strictly that's how many customers are without power at last check. Again, that update from the Plateau Electric Cooperative. A lot of damage to be had in this area, and like we said, our Sam Luther is on the ground there working to get any and all information. A short while ago, he was able to get with the Emergency Management Director, Ethan Webb, there in Monroe County. Let's listen to what Ethan had to tell our Sam Luther.
Easy one. Can you just tell me your name? I'll hold it for you. Tell me your name and spell it.
Ethan Webb, ETHAN-WEBB. I'm the Director of Morgan County Emergency Management.
Ethan, crazy day. One you never want to see here in your county. Can you just kind of walk me through the totality of the damages so far?
Yeah, so at approximately 5:25 this afternoon, our 911 center received a call that there was a possible tornado touchdown in the Sunbright community. Almost instantaneously, other calls were coming in throughout the Sunbright community saying the same thing. We were in contact with the weather service. We'd been watching the weather all day, knew it was coming, tried to prepare as best we could. So far, we set up a command post almost instantaneously. We've had approximately 15 to 20 agencies from across the state respond, around 60 personnel. We had a 5 to 10 square mile radius that we had to search. At this time, there are no lives lost or injuries reported from this storm, so we've been very lucky. There's been a few structures damaged. We've cleared all of those. We spoke to those homeowners. We do have a shelter set up at the Wartburg Central High School that the American Red Cross is helping us with that. But so far, no injuries or fatalities, so we're blessed.
We were just walking around there. We're seeing people, just kind of trying to figure out those next steps. Can you tell me how many homes you believe to be lost right now?
So approximately 5 that we know of right now. We've not had any other calls of any. We've searched the entire radius. So we're confident right now that there's only approximately 5 homes that's been damaged. We do have another line of storms coming in that we are watching. We are not terminating our command post. We will still be set up, waiting on this other round to come in. But so far we've been blessed.
On a personal level, surveying out there, being out there, you never want to see it in the community you serve. Can you walk me through personally what you were feeling when you looked out on what was a devastated Sunbright?
It was devastating. Like you said, it was totally devastating. I will say this: the community, the Sunbright community, and the Morgan County as a whole has come together during this few short hours and came together and been for each other, clearing roads and just doing what they can to help their neighbors.
5 homes damaged. Do we know how many people were displaced at the shelter?
Right now, we've not been told of any total displacements. We do have a few that's going to be at the shelter maybe overnight, but no total displacements that we've been made aware of at this time.
I mean, we heard some firsthand accounts over there of somebody saying he almost got sucked out of his house. The wind was so strong. It feels like, you're thankful that nobody was hurt. Can you just, when you hear stories like that of people saying, I don't know how long it's going to be until I have a house, that I almost was taken from my home. From your perspective, when you hear those stories, what goes through your head?
Well, I mean, it makes you think, on a storm like this, on how blessed they were that we had, no injuries. The minimum amount of homes that we do have damaged is just unbelievable that there was not more damage than there was.
You had a funeral home as well that we know. What
Yes.
other businesses and structures?
There was a funeral home, as you said, a gas station has been affected, and to my knowledge, that's the only structures that's really been totally affected.
I know right now the immediate thought is for injuries, keeping people safe. Looking ahead, what does it look like here?
Well, tomorrow when daylight comes, we'll know a lot more. The National Weather Service has been in contact with me, and they're going to be here first thing in the morning. We're going to go over some damage assessments, look at the path of the tornado, and really get a better idea of what's really taking place this evening.
What are some of the biggest challenges you guys are facing right now?
Roadways, getting roadways cleared. The amount of trees that have been down has been just unreal. Getting the trees cleared and getting the roads so we could check on the people and check on the damaged homes. That's been our biggest struggle this afternoon.
Any other points in the county that this tornado may have touched and affected?
The Sunbright community are the only reports that we have that's came into our 911 center, so that we've been blessed there.
Gotcha. I'm questioning anything else that we need to know, maybe from your perspective.
No, that covered about that.
Gotcha.
About it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the time. Yes, sir.
Sorry if I moved.
That was our Sam Luther talking with the Emergency Management Director there in Morgan County. If you joined the middle of that, let's just go ahead and walk through rapidly on what he told our Sam Luther. Most important point at this time, no injuries, no lives lost. They search a roughly about 5 to 10 square mile radius to make sure that everyone there is okay. He told, again, our Sam Luther, that he searched every portion, hit every building in that 5 to 10 mile square radius, and everyone is accounted for and okay. He said about 5:25 this afternoon, their E911 center got the first call of a possible tornado touchdown. If you know somebody in the Sunbright or Morgan County area who is without a house to stay tonight or without power, don't want to stay there, they are able to go to the Wartburg Central High School. That is where an emergency shelter is set up. Emergency Management Director telling our Sam Luther that right now he expects a couple of people to stay there overnight. Again, that is a shelter at the Wartburg Central High School created for anyone in Sunbright or Morgan County who needs a place to go. He told Sam again about 5 homes damaged from what he could say. Totally affected, he said, though, was only a funeral home and a gas station. Sam asked him his biggest challenges right now. He said roadways being blocked, trees everywhere, the sheer amount of trees that have been knocked over, he said, is substantial. A couple of bits of information if you just live across East Tennessee, and I know a lot of people are moving to East Tennessee, so probably a little bit of a lay of the land here in what we know. Sunbright is a town of about 500 people. It's located in Morgan County with a population of roughly 21,000, and so you can kind of see of what you're dealing with. A county where pretty much you know everybody there, in a town you certainly know everyone in, so it's a tight-knit community. We saw earlier just people really kind of taking in their town's devastation from this radar-confirmed tornado that had touched down. You heard from the emergency management director there, but also our meteorologist, First Alert meteorologist Jacob Durham, learned for us earlier that the National Weather Service is expected to be in Sunbright, Morgan County tomorrow in the early morning hours, probably between 9 and 10 o'clock. They will meet up with emergency management officials and then start to assess the damage that was left behind. When they look at that damage, they look and see at a couple of things. What was ripped off of homes? How much was taken off? Was it just shingles? Was it entire sides? Was it entire roofing? This situation, you obviously just what was taken off of these buildings here. They also look at trees. An interesting fact that I found out when that tornado hit West Knox last August is they look at the trees, and specifically they're looking at how did they come apart. Does it look like a corkscrew hit them? Does it look like it just spun it around and ripped it off? Or does it look simply like it toppled over? If it looks like it toppled over, you're probably looking at a straight line wind event. But if you're seeing trees that have sort of that corkscrew, or if you want to say maybe that wine bottle opener that you probably can picture right now, if it has that sort of look to it, you're more likely looking at a tornado impact. Again, that's what the National Weather Service will do. They'll get into this area and look and see at just the severity of this tornado. But again, the reason why we're able to say it was a tornado is because it was a radar confirmed tornado touchdown there in Sunbright. Again, about 5:25 is when E911 received the first reports of that tornado touching down in that area. We also know that it did affect a handful of buildings, 5 homes damaged, he told our Sam Luther, but also a funeral home and a gas station are what are called totally affected. They've searched 5 to 10 square miles of this area in Morgan County and Sunbright. Every building in that area has been checked and everyone is accounted for. No injuries and no deaths. However, the entire town of Sunbright, 500 people, completely without power at this time. Their power servicer is Plateau Electric Cooperative. This is a look at their outage map right now. You're looking at about 2,000 customers with PEC without power. We have been told that the entire town of Sunbright is without power, and now we are into the evening hours that's going to create just a little more havoc. I'm going to throw our digital people into a real quick tizzy. Let's bring up that Futurecast real fast. I don't want to play meteorologist, but this is a little bit at what you're looking at the 11:30 hour. You did hear them say earlier, the emergency management director saying we do expect more severe weather to move into the area. This right now being controlled by our weather folks who have no idea that I'm doing this right now, but this is a look at our in-house Futurecast for 11:30. So you're looking at about an hour and 15 minutes from now when another round of storms rolls through East Tennessee. Now you can see they're starting to move that. This will give you a little bit better of an idea as timing right now. You're looking at about an hour and 15 minutes from now to that 10:30 hour. It's really hitting the plateau. Cumberland County and Crossville is where you'll have a lot of that heavy rain, and then over the next hour from there, it will work its way further into East Tennessee, and that's when we should see this. Talking to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley a little bit earlier, she said you're looking at probably 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning into Wednesday before all of this begins to clear itself out of East Tennessee. To wrap things up here, let's go ahead and end it with the good news tonight. No injuries and no deaths, everyone accounted for in the radar-confirmed tornado that touched down in Sunbright in Morgan County. Sunbright, a town of about 500 people, and Morgan County, a county of about 21,000 people. So again, small county, but a major impact in the Sunbright area. There is a shelter tonight for anyone in Morgan County, specifically Sunbright. If you need a place to stay, the shelter is at Wartburg Central High School. That is set up. They're also keeping their emergency management facility open for the time being as they make sure that they have everything at their disposal to be able to respond as quickly and efficiently as they need to. We have about an hour and 45 minutes, until we go back to WVLT News on the CW at 10 o'clock. Our Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley is in. First Alert Meteorologist Ben Cathy. First Alert Meteorologist Jacob Durham. Our Ted Hall is in. We also have our Casey Wheelis is in Morgan County for us tonight alongside with our Sam Luther. So we have full team coverage on this storm system that has worked its way through East Tennessee, and another set of storms that are expected to work their way through East Tennessee here over the next hour to 2, possibly even 3 hours. Continue to keep track right here on the WVLT Facebook page, on all the WVLT streaming sites, and of course inside the WVLT News app. If you want direct weather updates sent to your phone, your mobile device, you can do that by looking up the WVLT First Alert weather app as well. We'll see you here in just a few short minutes on WVLT News at 10 o'clock on the CW.